Alright, let's recap. So far, I had created a custom audience, which are the people from my mailing list, and I've added this on Facebook's audiences. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here right now is we're going to create what we call a look-alike audience. And what this means again is that right now, all this while we've been using detailed interests for our targeting. That's all the very standard keywords that we've been putting into the ads manager all this while. Okay, now we can up the game by having Facebook now search through its network of other people that are similar to the customers or the subscribers that you have just uploaded here. I mean, isn't it just amazing? So for example, if you are running an e-commerce business and you're selling cosmetics, all right, or women beauty products, for example, okay, and you've already got more than 1,000 people like that, and you add all this database to Facebook, and what Facebook does is that it will run through this existing mailing list that you have here and try to look for people like that. Isn't that just wonderful? So this is how you can actually expand and scale your business to the next level when you start making some money and you get some profits, and of course you build your list along the way. So again, remember that Facebook is just a third-party platform. It's amazing and all that, but in the end you want to have more control, and that's why I want you to build your own list and you have your own medium to control as well. Okay, so I talk a lot more about that in my email marketing training program, but that's going to be something else. Okay, so let's get going with this one. If you remember this, in fact, I had created some lookalike audience in the past. Let me just show you this one really quick. Here, I'm going to just go to edit. Okay, so on the left here, you see that the audience name is called lookalike NZ. NZ stands for New Zealand at 1% for a particular main list. All right, and the size is 32,000. So this is called a lookalike. Now, if you don't understand the terminology just yet, that's okay. I don't expect you to catch everything in one go. And like I said many a times throughout this whole training, practice makes perfect. So you know what? Let's go create a lookalike audience right now by going to the top left, select lookalike audience, and we're going to choose a source. All right. So what we do here is that there are many types of sources that we can go around here. We can go to other sources. And I'm going to type in the word subscribers FBX local. That was the one I had just created just now. Okay, so this will be the source. And location. Now you can name any country that you want. So for example, mine, I'm going to have it here in Malaysia because this is a local mailing list and I will find people similar to that. Although you can find people like that in other countries as well. But right now I'm just going to put Malaysia because for this particular list, I'm having only people within the country. All right. Next time, if you want to find similar people like that in other countries like United States and all that, you can go ahead, but I recommend you just put one country over here and no more than that. So if I do this, for example, all right, please don't do this, okay? This is not the way you should do it. Just keep it to one country. And next one, you see there's this thing called audience size, all right? And if you don't understand what this means, well, if you check this out, that that's like from 0 to 10%. So what this does is that basically the lower the number, like 1%, it shows like the closest proximity match to your source. So this being the closest, this being the furthest, all right? But I recommend you just start off with 1% right now. Very simple. Now let's check out the advanced options. Okay, maybe just create one type of audience, okay? This is all we need right now. I'll show you how to do it, okay? Select advanced option, we're going to put 0 to 1%. Okay, let's leave it alone and click create audience. Okay, so we have just created a lookalike audience based on 1% close match to this mailing list. All right. Again, like I said many a times, the bigger the list you have, the better it is, so it's more targeted. But it seems like I'm able to make do with just below 500 email addresses. But the more you have, the better it is. Okay, so. But don't just stop here though. It's better to just have a few more. Some people even do it up to 10%. That's okay. I'll show you how to do it again. So let's click on create audience, lookalike audience, and let's choose the source again. Practice makes perfect. Let's do it. Let's choose the same one again. Subscribers at FBX local. Location will be Malaysia. All right. Or the respective country that you want to target. Let's choose advanced options. Number of audience will be 1, and it's going to be between 1 to 2%. So what this means now compared to the other lookalike audience we just created, we're going to look at this particular affinity where you're now looking at the 2%. So we're just going to create audience, and we're done here. Okay, so we've got 2% going on. All right, so you know what, let's just do one more for practice. Let's just do one more and let's be sure about it. Okay, I'm going to repeat the process. So I'm going to put number one audience here, and let's put this to between 2 to 3%. Okay, so let's just get going. And there we go. So we have a total of 3 different lookalike audience, and with this you can actually run a different ad set to different groups of people here. And this way you can find out which group might be more responsive to your ads, or who's buying or who's opting into your list. All right. So the way you start running the ads is actually very, very similar. That's how you do it. Okay. So I'm not going to keep this long. That's how easy it is. And just keep practicing. You'll get better with it, and you'll understand better as well. I'm going to continue from where I last left off on creating your custom audience. And now that we have already done that, I'm going to show you how to create the Facebook ad retargeting. So what you want to do right off the bat is that in campaigns, you're going to create a conversion campaign. Now I'm going to show you one of my immediate examples right now. It's easier that way. But if you want to backtrack things, you want to start with campaigns, click create, and then we're going to go to conversions, and then you can call it retargeting name of the campaign. All right, now I'm not going to actually do this because I want to show you an existing one that I had already done, so it's easier for you to see. So right here, this is one of my retargeting campaigns, and this worked pretty good. All right, so this is for people who have joined my PLR Mastery and they got my free ebook, and I have a special subscriber deal where I sell my private label books for just $1 each, and that's like a no-brainer. All right, so what I do here is I created this retargeting campaign. I'm just check it out really quick. This is the ad set here. Okay, so here's how you create an ad set like this. Okay, you can create from scratch. You can give it a name right away, retargeting, and then the name of the offer. So conversions, you're going to have to choose purchase. All right, there's nothing else. Just choose purchase for your conversion here. Dynamic creative, you can leave this out. Budget and schedule. Now, normally when it comes to retargeting, I always just put $5. Unless you're expecting a lot more traffic, then you can up the budget in some cases. But I would start for as low as $5. And don't worry, if you're not going to really use up $5 a day for the next 30 days. In fact, in 1 month, I only spent maybe $20 or so for retargeting, but I make back a lot more because retargeting is still dirt cheap. You're only targeting people who have been to your site but didn't take a specific action, and that's what it is. So you can just leave the daily budget at $5. Now here's an interesting thing. Audience, custom audience, you're going to select the audience that we had created earlier. All right, so this is a working campaign. I created an audience like this already, and what you do is you select custom audience, and then you select the type of people that you want to target. So this is my custom audience. All right, if you remember the video views and the visitors that we had created just now, this is where it belongs. Okay, locations, you can leave this blank, or you can just put worldwide. You can actually just put worldwide if you want to. That means everyone in the world. Okay, this is totally up to you because this offer is universal. I sell to a mass market where anyone in the world can actually be buying the product, but this is just retargeting. Okay, you can either leave this blank or you can just leave it worldwide. Okay, age, the maximum and the minimum, 18 to 65 plus, anybody, unless you are very specific about who you want to retarget, that's okay, but I generally leave it alone. Gender, all, languages, preferably just English, all right, because my whole thing's in English anyway. Okay, detailed targeting, this one you can afford to leave it up and leave it blank, because all this ad does exclusively target is the custom audience. This is probably the most important part of this step-by-step tutorial right now. Okay, connections, let's leave this alone. Ad placement, I'm really particular about this, but in this case I wanted to choose everything. But if you want to do like what I've been teaching you all this while, you can have everything except the audience network. Okay, you can have everything except the audience network, that's fine. And then bottom down here, conversion, 7 days click or 1 day view. This part has not changed at all. All right, so you can see that this is how you create the retargeting. Okay, now I'm not going to actually change this, just want to show you how it works. All right, so once you create a retargeting, then just like creating a normal ad, you have to come up with the ad for this, and this is one of the ads that I'm running, or almost the only, I think it's just the only one. Okay, so I created an ad here where I put my Facebook page, Instagram, so that people who go to Instagram can also see the same ad. And if you watch my previous video, then you know that you will want to limit the number of characters in your ad to like 2,000 characters and no more than that. Okay, keep it less. So this is my ad. And this picture here is not my picture or anything like that. It's actually a stock photo, and I thought this is pretty good. So sometimes Facebook ads can come up with some really good stock photos. If it grabs attention, just do it, okay? So in this case, I run a no-brainer deal, 9 private label ads for $1 each, okay? I'm running a special subscriber deal only, okay? You can get it all at this link. So if you're wondering why I can write it like this and be very specific about who I'm targeting, is because that's exactly what I just said. People who have already joined my mailing list, they've already opted in, therefore they get to see this special offer running right now. You're not going to see this ad run to the public, because people who have no idea who I am or no idea what this is about, obviously they're not going to respond to this offer. So I want to have you know that this is doing currently about, this whole funnel for this offer is doing about $3 to $4 earnings per click, because of all the funnels that I put at the back. So that's how powerful a funnel can be. And this is currently doing a 5 times return on ad spend. Okay, so this is how you do a retargeting. I'm not going to run through the ad creatives again because I taught this in another video, but I just want to show you how a retargeting actually works. And once you save it, and voila, you will have this retargeting ad running only to people who have been to a certain web page or a website. And you can also do the same retargeting for people who are on your buyers list as well, and you can add them into your custom audience. Okay, so that's all there is to it for the basic retargeting. You can get better at practice, and once you're ready, I can show you some advanced retargeting as well. So speak soon. Alright, in this video, I'm going to show you how to maximize your campaigns with a campaign budget optimization, or CBO in short. So this is probably something that you might have heard from other internet marketers, or when you're creating your Facebook advertisements for the first time, you would have definitely come across this campaign budget optimization. Now the rule of thumb is that when you're just starting out, especially on a low budget like $5 to $10 a day, you probably don't even need to use this at all. So most of the time you would have turned this off. But with that said, when do you start using campaign budget optimization, or CBO in short? When do we start actually doing that? Okay, now first of all, you need to understand what CBO actually does. So to put it very simply, campaign budget optimization distributes your budget across all your ad sets, and it's going to funnel to where it gets the most promising results. So for example, if you're running about 5 to 10 different ad sets right now, and what it's going to do is that you're basically trusting Facebook to distribute the daily budget across all the ad sets. All right, so let me just show you a quick example over here. All right, now this is a campaign, a conversions campaign, which is currently turned off. I'm going to turn it on afterwards so we can have a look at it. And as you can see here, that this had spent about $2,100. Okay, and historically there had been quite a number of ad sets that were run, a total of 19 of them. And this is with the CBO currently turned on. But when it started, it wasn't like that, okay? Normally, when you start running a campaign for the very first time, you will want to put an allocated budget to each ad set. So for example, if I were to test all these 19 ad sets, I'd probably put $5 to $10 a day, all right? So let's just say for math simplicity, we're going to put $10 a day. That means 19 ad sets times 10 would have been $190 a day, all right? And we're going to run this for like a few days, and what's going to happen in a few days is that we're going to see that some ad sets will perform and the rest will not, okay? And after running this for quite some time, I've decided that what constitutes as a good cost per lead will be anything $3 and below, all right? Anything that with a $3 per lead and below for this webinar campaign, I would consider it as good. So at this point, if I were to reactivate this campaign, I'm only going to run ad sets that have a very good cost per lead. So let's just take a look at each of them in particular. Like this one over here It's been running for quite a while. 3 leads at $6. I'm going to probably turn this off. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. And if you want to select multiple ad sets that you want to edit, what you can do is you can make use of the checkbox here. I'm going to select anything that is above $3. Okay, anything above $3, which is about this one. And I'm going to click on edit and turn off. There we go. Bear in mind that what you're seeing here right now is a campaign that has ran for quite some time. We spent about $2,000 over here. And again, whether you want to spend this much or not is totally up to you. Everyone's got their own preferences. But what I want to do right now, I'm using this as an example where I'm going to start running ad sets that has been proven to have a $3 per lead and below. So I'm going to select everything that's $3 and below. Okay, which is about this. Okay, all right. Okay, I'll still consider this. Okay, this is like $3.07. Okay, you know what? I might still consider this. It's only like overshot a little. That's okay. All right. And there we go. So we've got quite some ad sets that had performed $3 and below. Okay, and I'm gonna put them to turn on. All right. Now, depending on how many ad sets that you're editing at a time, this might take several seconds, so we're just going to leave it at that. And there we go. All right. So what's going to happen now is that I'm taking all the winning ad sets right now, and I'm going to restart this campaign again. So we have a total of, how many ads do we have here? Okay. We have about 12 selected. So if you want to see how many we have selected, you can just take a look at the top here. We have 12 ad sets that are selected. And the next question that you might ask is, how much budget should I set aside for this CBO campaign? So typically, for every one ad set, I put at least $5 or $10 for that matter. It's totally up to you. But I wouldn't recommend anything below $5 US. So let's just say I'm playing on a bare minimum right now. 12 times 5 would be about, I'd say, that would be $60 if I'm not mistaken. All right, let me just do a quick math here. So I'm going to make sure that my math is not bad. Okay, $60, okay. I'll probably put anywhere from $60 to $120. So let's just say I want to run this at $60. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart this campaign by turning this on. And I'm going to click on edit this campaign. And I'm going to change this to $60. All right, $60. Because if you put anything really like a small number, like anything below $5 per ad set, what's going to happen is that Facebook is going to struggle to distribute the budget to even the winning ad sets. All right, so this is why you don't want to put anything too low. And if you're not keen on spending even this amount as well, what you want to do is you want to reduce the number of ad sets. Okay, so with that said, I just want to say that for as many ad sets that you're running in a single campaign, I'll allocate $5 to $10 to that. So we have got 12 campaigns, 12 ad sets running right now. So I'll put at least the bare minimum $60. And if I want to run just 10 ad sets, I'll put this at $50 for that matter. Okay, so I hope this part makes sense. And as a closing note, should any beginners ever run CBO for a start? I do not recommend that, because when you're starting out, it is better to test various ad sets, that means various targeting, to see which one performs better. And after quite a while, you will probably have a few winning ad sets like what you're seeing here right now, and we'll start running CBO campaigns only at a second stage. So I hope this helps. What's up? And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can tidy up your account a little bit, because as time goes on, you would have added quite a number of page posts, created a lot of ads, you'd have uploaded quite some media like images and videos which you wind up not really using, and as time goes on, you would have cluttered your ad account for sure. So I want to show you two places where you can do a little bit of spring cleaning if you would like to. And let's start off with the media library. So how do we access the media library? Is by going to your business.facebook.com or logging into your business account and hit to the top left menu and scroll down to media library, and we'll end up on a page like this. So by default, you will be able to click on your ad account, which is where we're at right now. This is just an example. And as you can see in this particular account, we have uploaded quite some images and videos, and we're not going to use all of them. So if you want to delete any of this by any chance, we'll click on one of them, for example. and you can see at the bottom right there is an option to delete image, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But be careful though, because if this image is being used for any advertisement, it is going to definitely ruin your ad. So what's going to happen is that if you delete this advertisement right now, or rather I would say you delete this image, the advertisement that is using this image will still be running, but with another thumbnail, which is probably a default lifted off from that page itself. So you're going to be extra careful with what you're deleting here, all right? But in this case, I'm really going to do just that. So I'm going to click continue, and we're done. Okay, so this is just an example. I'll just click on another one as well. All right, or maybe another one here, and I'm just going to delete this. Okay, now that's not all. The next thing I want to show you is page posts. So how do we access the page post is by going to the top left menu again and click on page post. So it's right somewhere at the bottom of the list here. So it takes a bit of effort to scroll down here. So go on the page post, and you'll see the amount of posts that we have published for, whether it's as content for the FB page, schedule, and especially you want to take notice of the advertisements. All right. Now, whether you realize this or not, every time you make any edits or a copy of advertisements that you already have, it's just going to make clones of it with different IDs. So visually, it might look the same to you, but on the back office, you can see that there's like multiple IDs for a very similar advertisements. And again, if you want to keep things a little bit neat, what you want to do is you want to click on the page post that you would like to delete. Like for example, this is the one, and all right, you can see actions up here. All right, click on delete, and you'll be prompt. This post will be permanently deleted. Which again, I just want to remind you to be cautious about it, because if this advertisement is still being ran or it's active, if you delete this, then obviously you won't be able to run it again. So before you delete anything, you just want to be extra careful that the advertisement is no longer being run right now. Okay, so that's just a little tip on how you can tidy up your ad account a little bit, so you minimize the amount of clutter that you have. What should you do if or when your ad account gets disabled? So if you're watching this video right now, either A, you had this happen to you, or B, you're just curious to know what will happen to you as you run Facebook ads more and more, and maybe you should be mentally prepared as well. Now, I want you to know that having an ad account that gets shut down, that gets disabled or restricted is part and parcel of running Facebook ads, and no one is exempted from this. You have people that spend a few $100s a month to people that spend hundreds of thousands to even millions of dollars a month, and this kind of things still does happen. Okay, so should it happen to you, and there's a high likelihood that will as you run Facebook ads more and more, I just want you to be mentally prepared and know that this is just part and parcel of running on one of the most advertised social media platforms in the planet. Okay, and when you do, don't freak out. Okay, you might get an email like this: ad account disabled for policy violation. Now I'm showing this to you in a form of a screenshot because I don't have an actual account that I can show this to you right now, because either they've already been appealed successfully or they're already in the graveyard somewhere. Okay, so anyways, I want to prepare you on how to get your account back should this happen to you. Now sometimes you might find that when you're editing your advertisements or randomly a glitch happens and your ad account gets disabled, even though you didn't do anything wrong and you have followed the policy to the letter. All right, or maybe you could be operating in a niche that is non-controversial at all. All right, so don't freak out. What you want to do is that you want to appeal. All right, so you want to appeal, and they'll probably give you a link right off the bat. If you find this to be a mistake, give us more information and you'll be able to click on the link and arrive at a simple form like this. All right, is this an account? You're going to put yes and provide information. Now, you don't really have a lot to write here, to be very frank. The word count or the character count is quite limited, but here's the thing. You never want to admit your mistake or be apologetic. Now, I know this might sound strange, it might sound counterintuitive and even douchey for that matter, but I find that a lot of people tend to just say sorry even when they really didn't make a mistake. But what's happening here is that you're putting into writing for the internal team to use it as a reason against you. All right, you've admitted your guilt in writing, and we're going to stand by our final decision to keep your account restricted or disabled. All right, and take it from me, I've done this mistake so many times that I learned it the hard way. Okay, so what you want to do is like never admit your mistake. Instead, you want to word your appeal that you have read the ads policy, and make sure you do, by the way, all right, so you know what you're talking about. You are compliant with all the ads policy, it's compliant whatsoever, and you didn't do anything wrong. So please review and reinstate my account. That should be the way you word your appeal, okay? Now, if you didn't do anything wrong and everything should be fine, you will have your account back. So this can take anywhere from a few hours to up to 3 days in my experience. Now, I'm not saying this will happen to everybody. I just find that having this happen to me so many times, this can be from a few hours to 3 days that you can get your account back, and you will get an email that goes something like this. All right, this will be the best email to receive, the best good news. It will be a sigh of relief, and you can continue advertising. But I do advise that in the meantime, if while you're ahead, you might want to open more than one ad account, and if possible, more than one Facebook business account. To what I know, one profile can open a maximum of 2 business accounts. You can do just that. If you have a family member or a spouse or a business partner, among you guys, you can actually open multiple business accounts. And the reason why I recommend that is to spread your risk and diversify it so that you can continue running your advertisements uninterrupted, okay, without any delays whatsoever. Now, with that said, there will still always be a chance that your Facebook business account or ad account will be permanently disabled. And sometimes this could be, well, it could generally be your mistake for not complying by their ads policy. So for example, if you're operating in a sensitive market like weight loss, and you're using choice of words that are sensitive or just doesn't comply with the Facebook ads policy, then they do reserve the right to permanently disable your account. And at this point, you have no choice but to use another new ad account elsewhere with a different identity whatsoever. And just be careful not to repeat the same mistakes again. And this usually comes down to the choice of words, like, losing weight, for example, all right, fat, and things like that, okay? Now, when it comes to make money, this is another sensitive, controversial market where people use very blatant words like, make money while you sleep, passive income, autopilot. Now, these are words that you really want to avoid. And let's just say you ever have your ad account disabled for these reasons, you might want to start looking at the choice of words that you're using. Do not use back the same advertisements. Do not use back those kind of words again, all right? So you just live and let learn. Now, I think the reason why I'm going at lengths about this whole matter is because there's been a lot of people that give up on Facebook advertising after seeing some results, and then when this happened to them, they give up or they take too long to recover. Like they might take a few months to try to get another account and things like that. But ideally, you want to be able to continue your operations within the same day with another ad account. But of course, be cautious. Don't repeat the same mistakes of the first ad account that got disabled in the first place. Okay? So I hope this helps. And have fun marketing on Facebook. It's still very profitable, and it's still the best social media platform for advertising on this planet. Okay, this is going to be a very short video and very straight to the point, but at the same time, I know that some people that run Facebook ads might struggle with this on an emotional and psychological level as well. So when you run advertisements, you can almost always expect that you're gonna get spam comments and some really rude comments that's totally unfounded, like this one over here. Now, I just want you to know that this is part and parcel of running Facebook ads, because when you run ads, it's always going to a cold audience, and some of them might just project their insecurities or their negative thoughts onto your post, no matter how well-intentioned you are. So the short and very straightforward answer is to just hide, delete, and ban, really. So I don't personally think it's a good idea for you to engage with this kind of comments unless you are considered a witty person or you're going to build quite some goodwill. That I do not know, okay? But the short answer is don't waste your energy on that. I want you to focus on conversions and the end results. So how do we remove comments like this and ban them? It's quite simply by clicking on the command here. We click on hide command, and then we'll click on ban the person, and then finally we just click on delete, and we're done. Simple. After running your campaign for quite some time, have you ever wondered where your leads are really coming from, where your customers are hailing from? Are they seeing this from Facebook? Are they seeing from Instagram? What is the age group like? Who's responding most? Okay, are they seeing this on desktop or mobile? And the way to find out all of this, it's all in the data, and I'm going to show you how to do just that. This is really exciting stuff when you log into your ads manager. So this is just one of the simple test accounts right now, and if you take a look at this particular campaign, it's running a lead generation conversion objective. Okay, so far for this particular month, it's generated slightly more than 115 leads at a cost per lead of $131 US. So this is on the campaign level. Let's take a look at ad sets. Okay, what's really interesting here is that you can take a look at a breakdown on any level, but preferably you take a look at it on a campaign or an ad set level. So I tell you what, let's just double back on campaign because this is the more of like an overarching view, and we'll take a look at breakdown. So it's at the top right menu here. You can check out by time or delivery or by action, but normally you want to take a look at delivery, and this is probably where you're going to take a look at the breakdown most of the time. So let's take a look at age. So if you take a look at this, it seems that, yeah, it's quite fascinating when you take a look at the data here, and it seems that majority of the signups are from the age groups of 35 to 44, followed by 25 to 34 years old, and then by 45 to 54, and then 55 to 64. So it's really, really interesting when you take a look at all that. And if you want to take a look by gender as well, so we see that male has like 94, followed by female, and uncategorized for some reason there's just like 1 over here. So you might get that kind of thing occasionally. All right. You can also take a look by country. If you are targeting multiple countries, in this case, this particular campaign was running to only 3 simple countries: Singapore, Malaysia, and Canada. So it's quite straightforward. But if you're kind of curious to know about the region, so region could mean state or county, depending on the country that you're in right now. Like Japan, they go by prefecture. So if you take a look at Singapore, Singapore is just a single island, so there's only so much you can break down, okay? But when you take a look at Malaysia, it's got, of course, multiple states, and you can see that the breakdown here, Selangor has the most signups, followed by Kuala Lumpur, which shouldn't be a surprise because these are the 2 most populated states in the country, all right? And this would also be the same for other countries, like, you know, Canada. This particular campaign ran only for a short while. We've got 3 from British Columbia, 2 from Ontario, and so on. All right. Of course, with a much more mature campaign, you will get more data. But I just want to show you how you can actually take a look at a breakdown, and let's take a look at platform as well. Okay. So if you don't know whether your leads are coming from Facebook or Instagram, this is the place to look at. So if you want to have a look at the overarching view for this particular campaign, it seems that we have 105 leads that came from Facebook and 10 from Instagram, which is quite cool. Now, this really depends on the nature of your niche. In some markets or some products, do not be surprised if you get more actions from Instagram than you do from Facebook. Ultimately, they're all owned by the same company anyway. And if you want to take a look at breakdown, delivery, and also have a look at the device, all right? So let's take a look at impression device. You can see that a lot of the leads are coming from Android smartphone, all right? Android smartphone, and we have a distant second, which is like half of the results, like iPhone. And if you take a look at desktop, this is really interesting. Like desktop has only like 6 leads, and I think this goes to show that this is the rise of mobile marketing. Most people are viewing and surfing websites from their phone nowadays, and they take action from their phone. So it does make sense that you want to make your landing page or sales page as mobile optimized as possible. So that means you want to reduce loading time, image file sizes, your hosting speed, and things like that. Okay, and I think another thing we can take a look at is time of the day. Now this is really up to you whether it's ad account time zone or viewers time zone. Normally, if you're viewing for the same time zone, that's okay, but maybe we take a look at time of the day according to the viewer's time zone, assuming you are targeting multiple countries. And this is kind of a good indicator of like when are your target market usually active in the day. So you can see here that the numbers are quite spread out a little bit, but you can see that this is rather consistent throughout the 24 hours, except for like 4 to 6 a.m. you don't really have like any signups at all. But it goes to show when are people usually actively taking action on your offer in the 24 hours. So you can see that this is all like eye-opening views. It can help you strategize when you want to put in more budget as well. And if you think this only goes by the day, you can also take a look at the, I would say, the day as well, all right, on which particular day that they are taking more actions. Okay, so maybe just go by the day here and see what happens. Okay, there we go. So I'd rather to be exact, this is by the date. All right. So anyways, if you want to clear all this breakdown, it might look a bit confusing initially. So you can go back to breakdown, select none, and we'll select none for this one as well, and we're back to this.